Hooray, it's Meat Sweats the podcast. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
We are joined today by Mr. Mishka Shubaly.
I can't believe you said my name right. I'm disappointed.
Oh, you think I'm going to fuck it up? Come
no,
on.
everybody fucks my name up. I have people I've known for 10 years who still don't say my name right.
We've known each other for about half that. Because I feel like I met you really, really quick getting into stand-up. Like, I met you, I was like maybe 6 months in. And you were just kind of this figure that everybody talked about. And then you meet Mishka, the guy, and you realize he's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got to stop any kind of, positive reputation I have, or I don't know. I have
That's
no idea
what we're here to do today.
Okay, good.
That's what Meat Sweats is all about, is just putting people on blast. So tell us, what's the worst thing you've ever done in your life? Just get right into it. I mean, you don't have to answer that question seriously. You give us like 10. You give us like 10.
I just had option paralysis. I was like, oh, there's so many horrible things.
Like,
how do you use just one?
How do you rank them? How do you pick your favorite worst thing? I can't. They're all my babies.
My favorite worst thing was turning my brother into like half a cripple. That's my favorite worst thing I've ever done.
You gotta stop saying that. He hates you even more each time you say it. Each time you say it's your favorite thing, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you."
Wait, have you unfolded this story yet?
Yeah, I mean, a few times. Essentially, what happened was we were wrestling, and my brother, we were wrestling he was going into high school wrestling. I was a college wrestler, and we just had this really shitty mat in the old karate room at the YMCA. And there was a hardwood floor, like the hardest of hardwoods. Like, they don't make wood like this anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Petrified wood.
Yeah.
This is old growth forest wood.
Fucking A. This is from the Black Forest of Germany. And there's a hole in the mat. He had just taken me down. I got real pissed. And I just flared. My brother's 6'2" and weighs 280. And I flare doubled him as high as I could, which is about 4 foot. And just let him go, and he hit his right on his head, right on the top of his head, just kind of spiked down in the ground. And
so was it a spinal injury? Or?
Yeah, he's got severe nerve damage in his cervical vertebrae. So he's had Botox injections and stuff, and just he's had a real rough life.
Can he walk and shit?
Yeah, he can walk, and I mean he's 100% functional. He just graduated with a psych degree and is working
so
to
what's
be
your excuse?
I mean, I went down a dark path after that, Mishka.
I really love this story because it's shame for the rest of your life.
A lot of shame.
Just guilt, shame, pain.
Even worse, he had major brain surgery 10 days after this incident that was unrelated. But right away, just the immediate thought of I just almost killed my brother,
and but also stitched into that shame and guilt that will shadow you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Catholic too. I was raised Catholic. This ain't going nowhere.
And also proudest moment of your life, right? Because you fucking opened up, showed him who's boss. I fucking never forget. I'm the fucking big brother.
I mean, he really never has. There was another incident where we got in a fist fight on my mom's front porch on Mother's Day over $20.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yep.
I bet Dee loved that one.
She was on the toilet when it happened.
Oh, God.
She just runs out screaming, I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to call the cops. And anytime your mom is threatening to call the cops on you on Mother's Day, you know you're a real fucking bastard.
That old shit, man. I mean, the echoes reverberate throughout your life. I remember... God, the cultural referent will give you an idea of where in my life this was. My sister and I were watching a TV show called The Smurfs.
Oh yeah,
there was
hot Gargamel,
and then
action.
we had to get we were up the street at a neighbor's house, and we had to get my mom wanted us to come home, so when it went to commercial, we we headed home, and I was I got to find out what's happening, so come on, fucking hurry up, and she wasn't going fast enough for me or whatever, and I don't know how it unfolded, but I bit her.
Ooh.
And my parents took away the TV for a week.
Yeah.
Because you bit your sister?
Yeah. or maybe it was an episode of Mork and Mindy. I don't know, but it was like fucking. I mean, I was like 6, and I still feel fucking horrible for it. It's just like,
oh man, I don't think I've told this story. I just remembered this. Like my sister, right above me, like 4 years older than me, we used to fucking fight like crazy.
Yeah.
Like we used to beat the shit out of each other, just go at it. And I snapped one day. We were playing baseball, and she took my baseball glove, and she was a little taller than me, and she was holding it up over my. I was 8, must have been 8, yeah. And she's holding it up over my head, and she wouldn't give it to me. And I told her, I was like, I had a baseball bat in my hand. I was like, oh, no. If you don't give me my glove back, I am going to hit you with this baseball bat. I warned her. I very explicitly warned her of exactly what was going to happen.
Matt, please don't admit to capital murder on the podcast.
And she didn't give it back to me, so I hit her with this aluminum baseball bat.
In
the arm.
Okay.
In the arm.
All right.
Left a good bruise.
Oh, yeah.
Good sized bruise. Yeah. I felt fucking terrible.
There's this thing that happens in your evolution of sort of social consciousness where like as a kid you're like, well, fuck you, you took my fucking hat and I told you what I was going to do, so it's your fault.
Right.
And then as you get older and you progress, you realize that it was wrong, and then like later on down the line you're like, I hit a woman.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fucking monster.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible person. And then you get a little bit further down the line and you realize, nah, I was just a kid. It's okay. And you, like, forgive yourself a little bit. And then further down the line, you're like, man, I wish I had hit my sister more when I was a kid. Because that was an age where it was acceptable to hit a woman. And I should have taken greater advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Just every time I feel it now, just think back to that. Like, I got you. Remember that time with the baseball bat? I remember.
When I was a kid, my sister held me down once and farted in my face.
Oh, yeah?
I
pay women for that now.
I will never. I'll never forgive her for that.
Yeah, that's a brutal one.
Yeah. And that's the thing now is that, like, I'm a large dude. Like, I fucking hurt people by accident.
Yeah, you're how tall are you? You like what, 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'5".
Jesus.
And like, I just have to be careful.
Mishka the Destroyer.
Dude, I boxed for a minute, and I was like boxing, boxed with one of my closest friends, a guy I fucking adored.
Yeah.
And he kept throwing this like garbage right hand, and I was like, dude, that's not how it's done. And like I was like, I'm gonna show you because this is weak.
Yeah.
And I kept working with him. I was like, don't chase the target, move your left leg until the target is in the strike zone, and then fucking
unload it.
Yeah. And so we like worked on that until he was getting it right, when we were holding the pads and we were sparring. And he faked, and I went in, and he fucking rocked me. And I would just like, he like got my head back, and I was like, man, that's a blue sky. And look over there at that pretty church. There's Bill. I'm going to fucking kill him. And then I went for it, and I gave him a huge shiner.
Yeah.
And then like sent him home to his wife like that. And I felt so fucking rotten.
Dude, I don't know. Like every time I rarely ever get blemishes on my face, like from wrestling or fighting. We used to play the black eye. Me and my roommate, we used to play the black eye game. And what it was is you just hold your hand out and you just run into the other person's fucking hand.
That's fucking terrible.
It's so dumb. That's the dumbest thing ever.
I can't believe you crippled your brother.
Yeah. I was not an intelligent 20-something.
It's the self-inflicted
I'm not an intelligent
black
30-something.
eye. That's the worst part of it. Like, if you just get a black eye, that fucking sucks because it hurts. But if you give yourself a black eye, that's like the real psychotic part of it.
This game was only played when we were hammered.
I remember well. Like, I'm indestructible. Why am I indestructible? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
But railing against it.
I maybe have only ever had like redness under my. I've never gotten a like true black eye.
I'm the same way.
Anytime I get fucking like a bruise on my face, it's always been like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm that piece of shit. I'm that guy where I'm like, if I go to jiu-jitsu and I would get like a big rash of mat burn, that meant I didn't give up a submission. I dug my head into the ground and let this guy push me across the ground in my face. Like, every
Right.
time I've had a mark on my face, always as a dude, it's always been like fucking. This is I earned that.
It's weird. There is a particular, and it horseshoes so neatly with like your self-loathing and the sort of like swaggering machismo that we hate, but also you lean into when you get a fucking black eye or like a broken nose or something like that, and then you have to go and work like at fucking Burger King like that. Because I remember when Fight Club came out, and I was like, God damn it!
Fucking
yes,
A.
I know exactly
That
what
made
that's,
black eyes so sexy.
that feeling of just like I was a night manager at a knitting factory in New York for a while.
That's a sentence I never expected to hear.
And there was always like hardcore shows down in the basement. You know, like 17, 18-year-old kids would come in from Long Island and just do like the fucking karate kick flip, pits. And kids would always come out fucked up. And I was managing one night, and I went in at like 4:30, and the show started at like 6. And I just, I went in and I was like, yo, people, I got on the mic and I was like, yo, people keep coming out fucked up. So, like, tone it down, take care of each other. Yeah. Just don't, and then.
Don't end somebody's night. Like, because that's not
exactly.
cool.
And then I went in one more time and I was like, listen, I told you guys, like, no closed fists, no high kicks, just like, I feel ya, but.
I mean, you
like,
hang out with
dial
some
it
of those
back.
skankers. They skank pretty hard.
And
Those boots are big.
And then some girl came out unconscious, and I went in there, and when I went in, they thought that I was the guy who had done it, so I got jumped by a room full of like 18-year-olds.
Yikes!
And I actually got put through a wall where they like
Oh my God.
tackled me.
Was Bill Burr's dad there?
What's that?
Was Bill Burr's dad there?
Yeah, I know.
Put you through that fucking wall.
No, it was just like a fucking hail of fists, and I grabbed some dude and like pulled his shirt up or his hoodie up over his head and just
Hockey boxed him.
rabbit punching him and holding him like in between the other kids. But then they all like came at me, and I got stuck in the fucking drywall on this wall, and then I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm gonna fucking
You're just
wake
gonna
up
get
dead.
Yeah.
And I got out of it, and then went and like radioed for the rest of security, and these two Puerto Rican brothers came down and like cleared the fucking room. But I had a big black eye from that. And then there was like and that was the beginning of my shift, and I was there for like another 10 or 12 hours. And then we had another hardcore show the next night. And so like a ton of these same kids just came filing back in, but they all looked at me and were like, sup? I was like, all right, fuck it.
Dude, I'm not a concert goer, to my own dismay, but I've been to like a couple things, and one of my favorites was just this underground hardcore show in fucking Chicago that my cousin took me to in like 2015. Couldn't tell you who played, couldn't tell you what they played, but it was just what a fucking experience to go see a hardcore show after like never being to one. Those people are fucking insane.
They're totally committed. It is its own culture and its own cult, and it's like both infinitely mockable and incredibly meaningful.
Yeah.
And so like
It's a good way of putting it.
I got to be friends with the singer from Every Time I Die, so like I go to see them whenever they play, and we're both like 40, so we see it in a different way than the kids do. But for some of those kids, it's like fucking church for them or something. You know what I mean?
Like what I really saw was like a very unique form of escapism.
Yeah.
And like a way to, it's like, when I was an angsty kid, I would go to wrestling or I would go to do a martial art or whatever, to get rid of like that anger and that pain that you feel from just not fucking knowing how to live your life. And just everything being fucked up in it and not knowing how to fix it. Like, that's what it seemed like. It was a cathartic thing for them to go just fucking throw themselves at each other in a pit.
Ben Roy has a great joke about that. About that's not cauliflower ear. That's just muscle from like the wrestling kid straining to hear his father say "I love you."
Oh God, that dude, he fucking said that. I saw him at House of Comedy, and I am about
He's so
pissed my
fucking good. I love Ben.
Ben Roy's one of my favorites.
Such
It was just like too fucking real.
So real.
Too on the nose.
Fuck it. I wish I could write a joke that good.
I wish you could too.
I know. Wouldn't it be great?
He's one of those. He's one of those people where you hear so much from so many people about how great a fucking record is, or a band is, or a comic is, that you're like, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him and just went into it with sort of like, all right, show me what you got. And then like halfway through, I was like, telling people like, do you know this guy Ben Roy? You gotta fucking, I just instantly converted, and like, I gotta get over my own resistance to be just listen to people when they tell me this shit is good.
No, that's
so
the real
good.
thing. Like, but at the same time, I'm still not gonna watch Narcos.
Yeah.
Like I think we've
Yeah.
had this conversation before. It's just like if I hear to watch a TV show from like a few.
I'm the same way with Mad Men and fucking Game of Thrones and Smashing Pumpkins.
I mean,
fucking
Smashing Pumpkins.
It's like,
What's that guy's name? Billy Corbin.
just fucking Just,
What's wrong with Billy Corbin?
just find a way to trick me into listening to it. And dude, I fucking listened to Joe Rogan for the first time the other day.
Someone
and,
trick you into listening to Joe?
Well, I wanted to hear the Kreischer thing.
Oh.
And I listened to it, and I was like, God damn it, this is fucking great. Like, what do I do now that it feels like you discover some new band and it's the fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
like, oh fuck, I hate that I love this.
Ah, God, I don't even know what it was the other day. I think my girlfriend played me some song. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. And it's some like super popular fucking band.
It was
I felt
Nickelback.
like such like
It was
an asshole.
Nickelback.
It wasn't Nickelback. I just think it was one of those fucking poppy girls. But it was just a really good song. I was like, this is fantastic. Why have I never heard? And like, this has been out for 10 years.
I mean,
It's
the
just
truth
like-
is just that there's too much culture now. You can't fucking stay on top of
No.
everything. Just it like shit because it's good and for
Yeah.
no other reason.
Yeah.
And don't fucking tell people like, oh, you haven't seen Three's Company. You need to sit down right now and what? No, just fucking people will get
That's
to it when they
annoying.
get to it.
That's
yeah,
fucking
just-
annoying.
yeah.
Well, so many things don't even fucking hold up. Like,
yeah.
shit. What did I try to watch? Oh, Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. It was an old fucking sitcom. It was Ryan Reynolds' like first show.
Okay.
I was like a fucking teenager when it was out. I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was so funny. My girlfriend bought me the box set. We started watching it. It's awful. It's so bad. It's such garbage. The
You gonna take
writing
that
is
box
fucking
set back?
terrible. It just sits there now. But everything's fucking terrible about it. And so it's like, no, it's just better in my head of having a good memory of liking something.
You know what's good? Being a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like shit being new.
Yeah.
That's what's good. You know what doesn't hold up? Fucking Die Hard.
No.
And I fought with so many people about that shit over like fucking Christmas. Like, number one, who cares? Who cares if it's a fucking Christmas movie or not?
It's not.
Like, the fucking.
It was funny
Your-
5 years ago.
I
when
know. It's
somebody
like your
said-
fucking
yeah.
hot take on whether it is or it's
Yeah.
not it's just so irrelevant and so received right
Yeah.
now. And I like went back and watched that movie a couple months ago, and I was like, "There's no," because I remember Bruce Willis being like really funny and like just constant like sharp comebacks, and there's like
Yeah.
yippee-i-o-ki-yay motherfucker. That's about it.
That's the line.
Yeah.
That's the only line.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's all he says, and he just shoots things the rest of the time in that movie.
But like
It's been a while since I've seen it.
The Last Boy Scout, vastly superior movie. I don't even know why I'm talking about this shit. I gave you a like really painfully earnest look. Like, you know how I really feel about Bruce Willis action movies? No, I don't care. I don't care. Never mind. What's next?
What's next? We were talking about this before the show got going, and that is my upcoming sobriety, and how
My
it's-
condolences on your loss.
Why are you not
just
drinking?
because I need it, like I just feel like I need some time
that's a good
that I'm not smoking weed and
He
I'm not
says
drinking.
with a bottle on
you're-
one side of him and a fucking glass on the other.
well, I mean,
Oh, you're not going to smoke weed either?
No, I'm
You're going
not.
totally sober?
I'm going stone cold sober. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I need to. Like, I get in these funks where like it's not fun anymore, and it's almost a depressant to get high or drunk.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. Like it almost brings me down lower than I would be.
Okay.
So
Well, January is the best month to do it because everybody's in this like crush up to Christmas, New
support.
Year's. Yeah, because everybody's getting fucked up at office parties or whatever, getting drunk at home with your folks or whatever, and then there's this like orgy of spending with Christmas and stuff, and then fucking New Year's Eve, like the worst amateur night ever in history, and then it's a and then January, you get your fucking credit card bill from all the stupid shit. I stopped at Spencer Gifts for something for my dad, or whatever. People you don't even like, you buy presents for, and all the.
I only bought
you've lived
presents for people that I like this year.
That's very sweet of you.
That was nice.
I didn't fucking buy anything. For
I had the
anybody.
best
and then I
holiday.
just felt guilt today, so I bought something for my mom and my sisters.
Oh, that's nice.
But
I didn't buy anything for my mom.
I'm
hope she
glad
doesn't
she
watch this.
fucking called the cops on you on Mother's Day. I'll fucking call the cops on you.
I get her things for Mother's Day.
You didn't send
and-
your mom fucking flowers or anything?
Nah, she doesn't like flowers.
Still, though, it's not about
She's
the
a,
fucking
she's a husky
flowers.
little lady. If I'm going to send her anything, it's an edible arrangement.
Yeah, send her some edible panties.
Matthew, that's my mother.
I'll send
You
her edible
fuck.
panties from me. D.
Now we're gonna make sure. Because I always mock guys. I hate podcasts, and I fucking mock people for doing. Because I'm like, oh, the only person who listens is your mom. Now we're gonna make sure that your fucking mom listens to this.
She does listen to this.
She is the
She
only one
definitely
who
listens to
listens.
this.
Definitely just Bill's
She's gonna be
mom.
real fucking pissed. I'm gonna get a phone call.
Good.
And I laid some guilt down on her though, because like it was Christmas Day. I walk out there, like my roommate's girlfriend's mom goes overboard every Christmas apparently, and she mailed from Illinois no less than 3 giant boxes fucking stuffed full of presents. Like that space next to the TV in between that chair was just all full of presents.
How old is your roommate?
They're my age, 29, 28, 29, 30.
At what point do people get fucking shut out of Christmas? Because I feel like it's got to fucking end at some point.
I don't know.
Christmas, Halloween.
I think it
When
varies
I-
family to family.
When I
There's-
started having kids, I stopped getting presents.
is that when you
Yeah.
stopped? Because they were
Yeah.
buy-
At
they were spending the money on your
18
kids.
At 18, when my first kid popped out, that was the end of presents for Matt.
Yeah.
So,
You had your first kid at 18?
yeah,
He was in a cult.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We used to play a drinking game on the podcast every time Matt brought the cult up.
He had to
we'd
take
been
it
now I
drink.
just want to interrogate you, man.
Yeah, so many things.
Feel free. Honestly, it's
Well, let's,
some of the
let's
most
deal
interesting
with your
shit.
alcoholism. I mean, sobriety first. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like my old man was an alcoholic for
Are
sure.
you gonna do any dumb like Bert Kreischer fitness challenge or something for January?
We're already in one.
because you should.
We're
What are
already
you doing?
in one. We're doing. It's James Hohenscheit. Do you know James?
No.
He's a bigger comic in the Phoenix scene here, and he runs a fantastic podcast called "Is It Dark in Here?" Check it out on iTunes.
Oh, I know
Humble
Nolan.
plug. Oh, you know Nolan?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so he works with Nolan.
Right on.
James hit us up and he was like, "Listen, guys, I really want to lose some weight, and I need to feel like I'm held accountable by something. So let's do a challenge." And so we agreed to a year-long fitness challenge.
When did this start?
This started. It started.
It started a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm not really into.
Because I was gonna
until
say you're
like a
looking
week.
skinny as shit.
Honestly, I've been to the gym since that episode, since we recorded, 5 times.
Wow.
And I've been running like off and on.
You're doing better than I am.
Dude, it fucking running hurts my. It's not even my knee. I thought it would be like I've had my ACL replaced, and I thought my left knee would really just take a lot of shit from it. It's my feet.
You probably have bad shoes,
Yeah, I do.
and
I
you
need
probably
better
are not
running
running
shoes.
properly.
I mean, I run well.
You need to run on the balls of your feet.
I run on the balls of my feet, sir.
Well, then it's probably your shoes.
I don't heel strike.
Get
I'm not a
new-
fucking noob to running, Matt.
Well, I'm looking at your tits, and they say a different story.
Go
so-
fuck yourself.
The,
You wear the same cup size I do, young man.
Yeah, but I'm bigger.
I was
so
I was
that's better.
I watched a clip last night of this dude who was like pushing he was pushing 500 pounds. He did like a year-long thing that was inspired by like Kreischer, and I this is where your fucking brain goes. Like, I was like, man, I want to lose like 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard to lose 10 pounds, because for me, it's sort of like the last 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So my plan, I was like, it would be way easier for me to like gain 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Then
lose it
then
and feel,
I could
lose 90 and you
when
feel
you're
fine.
100 pounds overweight, you can lose 10 pounds in a week, and you'll be like,
Dude, the most I've ever lost in a day wrestling and cutting weight for wrestling and stuff
Oh, God.
was 19 pounds
that's fucked
In a
up, dude.
day?
in a day.
How is that possible?
It's you lose like whatever. I was fat,
fucking water,
so you lose whatever
kidneys.
caloric weight you lose.
Okay.
But then you also just exsanguinate yourself. You have about 20 pounds of water weight in you. And if you take it down that far, you're going to be like on death by dehydration's door.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like that's
did you
when
win your match that day though? Yeah, because I mean, you're probably like
just,
fucking.
I would
just
get when I cut
lightheaded
weight
and-
like that, I would get shit stomped.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard on your body. It's hard on your fucking brain. It's
Yeah.
hard on every. I mean,
But it was expected. At that time,
yeah,
in
fuck that
wrestling
shit, man.
and in
I'll take
in,
take the cult over wrestling.
yeah.
man.
At that time in combat sports, it was just like it was there was like there's people pushing for it to be more regulated for hydration and body fat percentage testing, and they were doing things that they were trying to make people not cut weight. But every coach would imply, this is what you need to do. Like, I need you at this weight, so figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's basically what it was. Like, my sophomore year of college, I faked my hydration test so I could wrestle 149 instead of 157. And I mean, I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Dude, I was 165 pounds, and I was already like pretty low on water. And for some reason, when you're low on water and you go in and take a fold test, you actually pinch a little higher than you would if you were hydrated, which is strange for some reason. I don't understand.
Do you have a little bit of extra skin or something?
I think that's what it is.
I'm so glad that the only reason I was suffering dehydration in college was because of crippling alcohol.
Yeah.
not because
I
of some
had
misguided
crippling
athleticism.
alcoholism and wrestling. That was one
Double
way
dipping.
I had a roommate, and this guy would only wrestle his best if he got fucking hammered the night before.
Yeah.
So if he was hungover,
No, he would just like he would get hammered the night before
And still
then
be
he'd
drunk?
re-up and drink again.
Okay.
The day of, he'd be super dehydrated, so he'd weigh in and be on weight, and then he'd just go murder people.
wow.
Was it? Yeah. The
If he was sober, he sucked.
was it like that Paul Giamatti wrestling movie where like they had to like punch the kid in the face and then he'd like go and fucking.
It's pretty much it, yeah. But he was like that, but with booze. Like, he needed to not give a shit. He kind of had like.
That was the same way my dad performed best when beating his children.
It's
After a heavy day's doing
it's a athletic form of stage fright,
Yeah.
Like people get performance anxiety.
I feel like my old bands like always played better when we hated each other. Like if you have a long fucking like 10 or 12 hour drive, or like you just fucking nobody
Just want to fucking stab each other.
Yeah, you go in there with full of fury and turn it out.
And just like that just fuels the music, or how does that I don't understand how that works. Like, how do you get up for like when you play? What state of mind are you trying to be in? What's your best state of mind when you're playing music?
Oh God, I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, so one of the things I keep coming back to is when I used to do the Moth in New York all the time, and it's competitive storytelling. So but I'm a writer foremost.
Yeah.
So I would like really write my piece and like really craft it, and then sort of memorize it word for word, which is a great way to get the flattest performance ever, because then you're basically just like reading it.
That's
off
real.
The back
That's
of your
real
skull,
though. Yeah.
Instead of
feeling it, be in the moment, and having this piece that you've made, but also at the same time like molding it to that experience.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be reliving it for these people, with these people. And I had a producer sort of pull me aside and tell me she was like, don't memorize your piece. And I was like, well, no, I fucking need to, because otherwise I can't do it. And she was like, okay, well, so fucking memorize your piece then. But then once you get up on stage, just throw it away. Just forget it. Just like, visualize crumpling up the paper and throwing it away, and instead just look at the people, just look in their eyes, and just tell it to them, like you're in a bar telling a story to somebody.
Yeah.
And that was like some of the best, advice I've gotten. And I mean, I think that playing music, you want to know the songs inside and out. You want to know them so well that you can forget them.
Yeah.
That then you can get up there, because that's when the emotion in the song that you were feeling at the time, that's how you were able to sort of relax enough, and so you're not just focusing on hitting your marks, and instead you can actually feel a thing.
I think that's it. I mean, it kind of that lends itself to doing stand up too, of like, the premise, your punchline, every tributary that you have in it so well that you can find new things in it, or you can wrap it into a conversation that you're already having with an audience.
Yeah. That's what I find. Like at the end of I did a tour with Kyle Pogue, and he's very
beastly.
Yes, he's a beast of a man.
Fuck yeah, he is.
He has this like awesome comic style where he seems like he's the fucking bartender who somebody was like, hey, we got a spot at the mic, will you go up? And his demeanor is that he's totally comfortable up there, and he's just going to rattle off a couple stories for you, and he's fucking hilarious. But he works incredibly hard
to do that. Yeah,
to make it seem like he's just the bartender who's put down his fucking bar rag and gotten up there to and sometimes that would manifest in that he would have too tight of a grip on the material.
Mm-hmm.
And then, us being on tour together, it was a fucking shit show because I play just dives and fucking dumps. And
I've seen where you play. I've seen where you play.
Your quinceañera or your fucking bar mitzvah or whatever the fuck. Or,
hey, there's nothing wrong with playing a quinceañera.
We'll play at fucking Church's Fried Chicken or whatever. So, you're doing all these sort of weird little backyard shows and and shitty venues and also, towards the end of the tour, Pogue would start going hard each night. So he'd just be struggling to keep it together to get through these sets. But
I know that feeling.
That he would be forced to interact with the crowd, because the fucking bathroom door is behind you on the stage or whatever, shit like that, But putting him in situations like that are not an ideal performance situation, or fucking having to deal with hecklers, or just be like, all right, I know, just shut up, and then we'll get having to stray from the path that you've mapped for yourself, but get back to it in a fluid manner, or or something's happening in the crowd and there's an opportunity there to talk shit, to exploit it for a laugh, and then naturally bring it back to the story you're trying to tell. That's what makes you a killer. And that always improves your every part of your act.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's totally. I mean, I know the guys who I've maybe not heard of before, and I've walked into a room and seen them and been like, "Oh
holy shit, who's this guy?"
I didn't know people were doing this.
Yeah,
this is what I have to do now, and it's those guys who make they make it seem so effortless. They haven't written anything down. Things just coming right off the top of their head. Yeah. They're working the room and flowing with the room and weaving with it and everything that's going on with it. I mean, those are the guys who's just fuck, this is something else.
We did a house show in Chicago, and this dude came up to me afterwards, and he was a comic, and he was like, man, your banter in between songs, he was like, that was just phenomenal. I've never seen anybody who can just sort of get up there and speak that naturally and just unfold one story to the next to the next to the next, just off the top of their head. And I was like, you think that was cool? I've been fucking just drilling that shit over and over on the fucking 6-hour drive here today to make it sound.
So you're a proponent of rehearsal in your mind and everything, or do you vocalize it when you rehearse? How do you do that?
I mean, I sort of do like everything every way. I definitely I try to write shit down, and I try to write shit down. I try to say it. I try it in front of people. But also, like, some of the best moments that you ever have are like when you throw the script away. You know, I was doing a show in Sacramento, and this dude messaged me, and he was like, "Hey man, I just wanted to say, thanks a lot for your music. It made a lot of difference in my life." And
It's a weird one to get, isn't it? Like,
and the way that he put it in like the past tense like that, I was like, and I wrote back, and I was like, or he was like, I think he was drinking Ice House, and I was like, dude, why are you fucking drink? Like, I don't even drink, and that's laughable. Like
Ice House has its place in the world.
Okay, all right. I forgot fucking who I'm sitting down with. But he was like, no, I saved money by drinking shit beer so I could, get one last bag of heroin, and so this is a goodbye, and sent me a picture of the fucking shot cooking in the spoon, and then they were
That's
like,
some darkness,
and then they were like, yo, you're up, and I was like, fuck. So I got on stage and tried to fucking do my little, song and dance thing. And then I finally I was just like, all right, listen, I got to tell you guys what's going on. And I told the people, I was like, so this is what's happening right now. This dude's in New Jersey. We're in fucking Sacramento. I have no idea who this person is or how I would ever get them help or something like that. But I don't know if this dude's going to be alive when I get off stage.
Yeah.
So, here's another song, but man, fucking the whole room just leaned in after that. There was some real, it's because I dropped the entertainment thing and just went into just being a real human being.
That's what I've told you before, just you and I sitting on a fucking patio. I'm envious of the difference in emotions that you can play with as a musician. You can get heavy like that with people, and then from that, they feel a deeper connection to you, because you're showing just that 100% realism to them. Whereas with a comic, it's just like, tell your yuckity yucks, fuckface,
make me laugh.
Yeah, and that's all that's all we get to touch. So I'm envious of that in music, and you do it really well, where you can I've heard you just get fucking dark with people and say some super real shit, and then people fucking come with. It's powerful.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Please stop complimenting me now.
I'm not. I'm saying you're a fucking morose, miserable fuck.
Okay, thank you. You redeemed it at the end there. It's getting profoundly uncomfortable.
I'll pull one of your pubes out in a minute.
There we go. I think that's one of the reasons why I resist doing, I'll do comedy nights, but I try not to do comedy clubs.
Yeah.
And why I, when I'm doing a tour, try not to do just one fucking comedy night or comedy show after another, so that I can slip in those, darker moments. And even if I'm on a comedy stage, I'm gonna take that real estate for myself.
Yeah.
The trick is just, and I learned this from writing, is the trick is just to keep the pendulum swinging, because if you go deep enough into the darkness, people are like, just please make us laugh. Please, God, make us laugh. Let this be a joke.
Yeah.
And so then, even if it's a fucking hack laugh line, they'll take it. They'll go for it. And also, if you get a big laugh and then you're like, well, the puppy died the next day, and then everybody's like, what? Because you hit them when their guard's down. I don't know. It's weird, man, because it's like I'm booking another, or I have another tour I'm going out on in February, and then looking at booking another tour in the UK in May, and I'm always I have the utmost respect for what you guys do, for what you people do. You comedians.
You hear how he talks about
comics.
us? You people.
The well, I said you
people.
guys. It's not just guys. It's
It is.
You know, it's people of all genders getting up there on the microphone with no guitar, no songs, no notebook, just their words and their brain and their mouth, and it's like I'm going to. It's the purest art form that exists. Just that I'm just going to get up there.
I don't like it when people
and
call it an art form.
I'm going to say things, and it's going to move something inside you. It's going to.
Hopefully
It's
your
going
bowels,
to.
if
It's
you're
going to
listening
make.
to one of my sets.
It's going to make you
Makes
feel
you-
a thing, you know, and it is some kind of fucking black magic that I can just, you know, that a good comic can just say things into a microphone and actually make people laugh.
The term on this podcast is magic of color.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. But you know, so I have huge respect for comics and how scary it is to get up there, just you and your mic and your fucking ideas. And I have my crutch, I have my guitar and my songs, you know, so I'm always like real hesitant.
And that's where we differ. Is like I never look at it as like we're purist art and all that. I look at it like we don't have a talent, so this is what we can do.
Well, you can shit on comedy because you're one of those people. You are a comic, you
Yeah.
know, and I populate this weird sort of in-between region of like a songwriter who occasionally says funny things, or songs are occasionally funny, or like I want to do a live record that's just called "Some of This Will Be Funny."
That's a great live
I
record.
like how you shit on it, Bill, but you realize how many unfunny cunts exist
I
in
do.
this universe.
I do.
Like,
And I like-
It is super fucking hard,
It
and when
is
you do
really
it well,
hard.
it looks super easy.
is really
but
hard.
it's not, man. It's the fucking hardest
and
thing.
I've died worse bombs. I've had such fucking awful bombs that like I don't know why I still do it. Like they would shake a normal person.
Yeah.
And I keep going.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't know. I've always looked at it as a war of attrition with yourself. Like, what can I do to make people understand what I'm trying to say better?
To carry that analogy, though, there is like PTSD that
Fuck
you
yeah.
get after.
Dude, I don't want to bomb. I fucking hate bombing.
enough
It
shitty
hurts
sets
so
or
bad.
enough shitty shows or
I
whatever.
will
where it's
fucking
just
shuck
like,
and jive my little fucking Italian dick off to make sure I at least get like a half of a good set.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't let it go like 50-50 is what I shoot for because then I'm not going to feel bad when I go home and want to cut myself.
You fucking put way too much energy into this. Like, bombing fucking sucks.
I hate it.
Like,
I hate it more
like
than
everyone's ate shit. Everyone's ate the worst shit. People who are doing it and still doing it, you fucking ate the worst shit. But like, still like, you attach too much emotional energy to it. Like I fucking hate bombing, but I love bombing because it gives me something to be like that was so fucking bad, and so many people.
No, it drives you
saw
forward.
That. It makes me
Yeah.
get better. That's what I love about it, is it makes me get better. But
Yeah.
I don't sit there and attach some kind of thing to it where it's like I let it affect me on an emotional level. Like I do for like an hour, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this, I gotta go. Like I gotta figure out
Mine's
how to
the
get better.
day. Mine's until I just drop a load.
I've seen you spend some time thinking
I've spent
about
some time
sets.
on some bombs. I
I've-
definitely have. I'm a
I've
sensitive
watched
boy.
Well, fuck yeah, me too, man. I mean, I watched Matt Micheletti, great comic, fucking really funny, works super hard.
Shout
We were
out to Fat Dick Coletti. We had him over on Christmas. He came over for Christmas. He brought edibles.
Did he bomb there too?
No, he brought edibles. He crushed.
Did he ruin
fucking crushed
Christmas? No, I saw him do a set at Paz, La Paz.
Pause. Yeah.
I don't know. But I walked in there and somebody else was up, and he was up, and the other person was just dying, and then he was up next, and it was just like the worst stage, the worst crowd,
It's just
the
a
worst
weird-
sound.
yeah.
Everything was bad, but he still had to get up there and do it and do the amount of time that he was contracted for. And he got up there and he fought valiantly and he never stopped digging, and it sucked the whole way.
Dude,
and
Nicoletti's a soldier.
And
like,
and I was like watching him, and I was there was even like shit where I was like just listening, where I was like, if there's any point here where I can help him, I'll do it. And he was like, I was in the military. Anybody else here in the military? And I was like, there's got to be somebody here. Like I'm not, and I like, if I looked around, nothing.
Did you clap?
And I was like, well, I couldn't be like, yeah, I'm fucking Canadian, man. No, I'm not in any kind of military
you
whatsoever.
could have been a Mountie at one
I
point.
would have stolen valored you immediately. I'd be like, this motherfucker's lying.
The
I could see the Canadian on him. He's too nice.
I can smell the maple syrup in his hair.
I'll tell you what, fucking mock it all you want. Since fucking 2016, my stock as a Canadian has gone through the fucking roof.
Oh,
Hey, I love Canadians. I've spent a lot of
I'm a
time in
big fan.
Canada.
I'm a big fan of
fan.
Canada.
Big
It doesn't.
fan.
Well, I mean, listen. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking arbitrary distinction between Canadian and American or whatever.
is.
It
is.
People are people.
Canadians
But
definitely
my
are
point
nicer.
is just that like Matt's a great fucking comic. The shit that he was doing wasn't any different than shit that I'd seen him do that was killing other nights.
Yeah.
And he just had to go up there and just fucking take his punishment like he was getting fucking beat into a gang.
Sometimes that needs to happen.
And
Sometimes, but on the beautiful moment that where you take that fucking sourpuss room that no one's been able to turn around, you do.
yeah.
Or if you just get a laugh out of those fucks. If you get like one honest whole room laugh out of those fucking people, you win.
Yeah, cracking a tough room is a fucking great feeling.
Well, that's the thing is that people. I always get the people on the road who are like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, it was a weird show tonight." I'm like, "No, are you?
No,
I can't. I've had a bunch of good shows. Ask me a question, but I don't know anything about them.
No, 'cause
I
they
can't
went
remember
good.
them because they were good, and your brain just was like, all right, that was good. But a fucking horrible show, a bad show, a weird show, yeah, you fucking remember that forever. And I would much rather have a weird show, like Turn, a bad room, or a
my
weird
mother
room,
always
or-
said this to me as a kid. She go, Billy,
She said,
do
Bill, wash your pecker.
that and do good and forget about it, and do bad and think. So like anything you do well,
that is some Catholic shit right
Yes,
there. Yeah,
it really
that's
is.
Fucking,
But
live with
it's
this
but
for
it's
the rest
real.
of your
Like
life.
if you do something bad or poorly, like you should definitely analyze that more than the good one. And I transitioned that to wrestling. I transitioned that to comedy. Like if I lose a match, like what could I have done better? Even in the sets where you do well, you can still find that one thing in the set that you're like, all right, I need to tighten this up right here, or like this joke needs this needs something more.
But also, if you only ever focus on the negative, then by the same way, you want to like.
No, I get that.
You want to track the mistakes you make so that you don't repeat your mistakes all the time. You also want to like pay attention to what hits, and I did a show with fuck, I'm going to forget her last name, and she's super fucking funny. Amber, a girl from Columbus, Ohio. And she, her closer was telling a story about being at a music festival and taking too many drugs and telling herself that it was a good idea that instead of using the porta potty, she should just shit in her hand. And it fucking killed. It killed so much.
Do you have her number?
I know, right?
Can you
Dream
introduce?
girl.
Can you
Dream
introduce?
girl. Well,
Sounds like a fantastic catch.
I will figure out her
Mom would love her.
name by the end of the podcast. But I figured out watching her that like she can do that bit and it'll kill because she's a tiny cute girl.
Yeah.
And
you can't shit in your hand, buddy.
And for me,
I can't shit in my hand.
Well, it's Amber Falter.
I can shit in my hand a little bit.
No.
No, I do. I get away with it. I get away with a little bit of shitting in my hand.
That's because you're a dad.
That's all right.
That's why
It has
I
to be
throw
your
out
own.
that I'm a dad.
It has to be
first.
your own shit.
Yeah, no,
But
it's
that's
my
the
shit.
thing, though, is that like three beardy kind of dudes, like people expect us to tell stories about shit. Like they expect we're just shitting in our hands every day.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh God, here's But I
now
same
have a
night
bidet, so I don't shit in my hand at all.
that same night, I told a story about crying at a gas station And yeah, and I got the equal and opposite reaction of like, yeah, maybe not the fucking big laughs and riotous applause, but everybody fucking leaned in,
Yeah.
because they weren't, in the same way they weren't expecting that story from Amber Falter from Columbus, Ohio. They weren't expecting me to talk about like, oh, it hurt my fucking feelings, man.
Yeah, you never expect a guy with knuckle tattoos to talk about his feelings.
These fucking things hurt, man.
I didn't even see your hand had a knuckle tattoo. I just assumed.
It's profiled.
What can I say? I've watched a lot of what is it? Criminal Minds.
Dude, I was watching Criminal Minds last
It's a great fucking show.
I love it. I love it.
Manny Patinkin,
It's,
the early episodes.
There's fucking room on my couch if you ever want to come over, cuddle up, and we'll fucking watch some Criminal Minds.
I'm game for that, honestly. I'm definitely
Criminal Minds
on
makes
the
me-
Kenzie scale. I can cuddle up with a guy on a couch and watch Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds makes me wish I still drank so that we could like do a shot every time Derek Morgan kicks a door down. Because he
always kicks doors down. I have a friend in I used to do CrossFit with this chick, and
that's a bit
I
right
know
there.
I know it's fucking awful, but she's a SAG makeup artist, and so she works on one show with him. I think it was the new show SWAT that he was in.
Is that just him kicking doors down the entire time?
It's just him kicking
Can
doors
somebody
down.
make a fucking reel of
How many doors
of
he's
just
kicked
him
in?
kicking doors down fucking
Like
nonstop, one
he's
after
Home
another.
Depot's #1 customer because he's replacing doors everywhere.
He has like a side deal with them of like, we got a new hex core door that we want to profile here.
Yeah.
Can we sneak a product placement?
This store's gonna take 2 kicks.
But yeah, so she posted. She would post him in her story every time he was in there, in her chair getting makeup.
What's
and
his name?
stuff done.
Shamir?
I have no idea.
Derek Morgan. That's his name.
Derek Morgan's
Yeah,
name.
he fucking.
That's the way I classify
yeah.
like actors as like, what's your most famous role? That's your name.
Yes.
Like Daniel Radcliffe's
They love it
name,
when you do that.
Daniel
by the way.
Radcliffe's name is Harry Potter.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
you see him in a bar, please call him Harry Potter.
I
'cause
fucking
he
would.
Fucking loves that.
I would. What's he gonna do to me? Have
He's
one of
gonna
his
club you to
bounce-
death with $1 million, and you'll deserve it.
I mean, you know,
You goddamn feeling
there's
herder.
worse ways to die.
I'd go out being clubbed to death with $1 million.
Just
To know how it feels.
I mean, if you organize $1 million bills into a club, I would feel honored to get beaten to death.
somebody was like, "Would you suck a dick for $50,000 the
Yeah.
other night?" And I was like, "I'll suck 50." And they were like, "Wait," and I was like, "No, wait, $50,000 for one
Yeah,
dick. That's the deal."
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. You got a dick? Give me 50 grand. 50 grand? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like I could go buy a Cadillac.
Yeah, I would. I was just listing off all these horrible things I would do for $50,000, and then I was like, "Wait, I just talked myself out of an easy 50 grand
Yeah.
for a Hummer into some truly just
I had a
horrific."
So we went. Do you know Ray Howard? Ray's a very
local?
large black gay man.
I may have seen him.
You've definitely seen him. We went to the gay sex store with Ray. There's a distinction. There's gay sex stores and there's regular sex stores. We went to the gay
Okay.
one, and they had.
I would
this-
argue that anyone that you went to with Ray's was probably a gay sex store.
So they had this.
This one
they,
was even gayer.
They had a rocking little thing. That
Toilet
you
seat?
Yeah, it was a toilet seat that was off the ground about yay much.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this, I'm holding my hands about 2.5 feet
Yeah, I was going to say they don't know the standardized.
There's a camera.
Just your mom is watching that. Nobody
She
else
is,
is.
yeah. And so he had brought his friend, his chick friend, his straight BFF chick friend with him, and she was like, "What is that for?" And we both answered at the same time. That's for shitting on somebody's chest.
Wow.
That's exactly what it was for.
There's it
was a chest.
Was there
pooper.
like a little like mechanics dolly for you to slide under like into the strike zone?
There should have been though. And that's the pro level. Like that's the
Yeah.
Amazon fucking bestseller right there.
I feel like if you're this
50
is why
grand.
this
I'd let you shit on my chest for 50 grand. Just saying.
stop the
Anybody?
podcast.
50 grand?
The
50
what I-
grand poop on my chest. Come on.
What about 49?
All right.
Start whittling
I mean,
them
we
down.
can get down.
This is the
to-
problem with this country is that you don't need some fancy fucking sports equipment to shit on somebody else's chest.
You don't.
No,
Just-
but you can have it.
If I would argue that if you don't maintain a base level of physical fitness where you can just squat and drop a deuce on somebody's
Yeah.
chest, that's
You
probably not something not something you deserve. It's like the scooters at Walmart.
But that's who they
Those are-
want
that's-
shitting on your chest. Like they want the greasy shit.
Here's what's great about this country. If you're incapable of regularly taking a shit on someone's chest, you can just go to the sex shop
And get a
machine.
Get a stool.
You
Your
can get a
tax
for a
dollars
machine.
at
while. You
work.
could strain a little bit.
And you can pick up your
That
participation
and
trophy on the way out
it's
the
low
door.
enough to the ground. You don't even need a squatty potty. Like
there,
you're already in the optimal.
You are in the squatty position.
Is there a like splash guard like they have at salad bars and
No,
stuff?
you got to buy a separate tarp for that. You got to. That's another
That's
purchase.
a roll of plastic that's in the back. It comes with each.
You know what? I'm actually surprised that place didn't have rolls of plastic for sale. They really should have.
I
We should
bet-
go sell them rolls of
I
plastic.
bet if we asked them,
They
they
did-
would have been able to direct
They got
us
it.
to the corner of the shop where the rolls of
That's
plastic
you're thinking of
were.
Homo Depot. And I'm done.
Homo Depot. Oh my fucking god. Another thing. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about. You are. You do your own tour. You always are self-produced, and you're your own motherfucker, which is highly respectable.
Is it though?
It is. You have one of the most impeccable taste in vans of anybody I've ever met. How many vans have you owned?
I actually just retired another one this past year. So I am on my fourth road vehicle.
Do you name them?
I don't because I've lost enough friends that I've realized that no, a car is a car and a guitar is a guitar and
Okay.
like a friend is a friend.
Okay,
you know.
so
and,
you
like,
don't put that much.
I made an exception with so I was gifted the van from the Unbookables, the big 1976 Chevy G30 camper van with avocado green with Sherwood green racing stripes. I named that one Lucia after my writing instructor at University of Colorado because she was a mentor for me, and she really gave me some direction. She was, when I met her, how do I say this? She was a beautiful woman, not in a beautiful stage in her life. She had scoliosis so severely that it had punctured a lung.
Oh, shit.
And she'd
fuck.
been an alcoholic and a junkie for most of her life, and it had ravaged her. And she had a little oxygen tank that she carried around behind her on a roller like a little dog, and but still a fucking stunner, and like to. And I was totally in love with her too. She's probably 65 or 68.
Yeah.
When I was 19, I went into Lucia Berlin, the writer. In the last couple of years, she's sort of gotten her due. But I remember going into a writing workshop, we had an independent study once. Going in there, and she just like looked at me and she sniffed and she was like, "Is that Scotch?" It's like, yeah. And she was like, "You gonna make it?" And I was like, "I don't know." She was like, "You idiot." Okay. And she took off her oxygen mask and handed it to me, turned the oxygen up all the way. And she said, "Take 3 deep breaths." And I did. And I instantly felt better. And she was like, "Okay, now let's talk about Anton Chekhov." She was a fucking badass.
That's great.
Yeah, she protected me a lot. She took care of me a lot, and so naming that van after her, that just seemed like sort of a fitting tribute. The my car right now though is like it's the newest car I've ever driven. I have a 2005 Scion XB, which is like
that's hilarious.
That's like the game hilarious. that 14-year-olds playing who feel really comfortable calling each other the N-word on Xbox. That's the vehicle they grow up to drive. If you vape, we've got a car for you.
That's a vapor's car.
Yeah,
that or a Nissan Cube.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just like, oh, I'm really into electronica. No, it's fucking horrible. But that thing, I will put 100,000 miles on that.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Oh yeah,
and it's 33 miles to the
but
gallon,
only that.
Yeah,
it'll only last 100,000. Then it'll just catastrophically die. That's what those cars like that are designed like a light bulb, like.
We'll see.
They first made a light bulb.
I have a good track record of stretching a vehicle out.
You do, and I've seen this just through watching your Instagram and everything. What's the highest miles you've ever gotten?
289,000.
289
on a 1991 Toyota Previa.
Really?
And I could have kept it going, but it was just it was $800 in repairs, and I was like, there's a point where you just have to say, okay.
Yeah.
Is this car even worth $800?
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
But my last ride, I had 235,000 miles on it. I bought it for $1,500 and I sold it for $1,000.
Fuck yeah. You win.
Yeah.
You win right there.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about just getting a bus? Like the Mishka bus.
This is one of the things that I realized touring within the Unbookables van is that to do a big comedy tour of 6 or 8 people, all that means, at our level, you're not getting any more heads in the door. You're not making any more money.
No.
All you're doing is ensuring that all of you will go home with nothing.
You're cutting your profits. That's for sure.
The best way to do it is with 2 people, either 2 songwriters, because then you get paid as 2 acts, and ride in one vehicle, or 2 comics, and there's enough room for fucking merch and whatnot.
Yeah.
So ironic. I'll probably be in fucking 10 years, I'll probably be touring in one of those tandem bicycles.
Yeah. Well, before you leave, we'll show you Brian's van that he built.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brian's got a bug out van, one of our roommates.
Oh, awesome.
And it's got it's got a cool bed system in it, full bed. And it's just he did a lot of really trick little work in it that's not hard. He did very minimal crafting to get as functional as of a vehicle as he can for the road.
See, I do love that shit. I love modifying and adapting a vehicle to make it. My old Toyota, I had a loft built in the back, and the Toyota Previas are long enough that I could just sort of sleep in the back without
without doing it, no modification.
And I disconnected the power locks to the rear door, so the only way you could get in was with a key. So even if you fucking smashed a passenger side window or whatever, you still couldn't get into the loft in the back where all my gear and stuff was.
Yeah.
Because my van used to get broke into all the time in New York.
That's a scary motherfucker, is getting your shit stolen out of your car.
Yeah.
Especially I'm going to make my money with this. It's like stealing from a construction worker,
Yeah, stealing their tools.
He's stealing his tools, man.
Yeah. The I do have the Lucia is pretty well tricked out for guitar and amp sort of gear storage and stuff like that. It's actually, that van is in just a little bit north of Dallas right now. There's a fan there, Vance, who has a custom shop, and he's fixing the rust and body work and stuff going over.
So so you still have this?
Yeah.
You still have Lucia. She's making a comeback.
Yeah, I'm doing a tour in February with Jake Flores, who's a fucking genius, and picking up the van and touring it back here. and then you'll see it banging around.
Fuck yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Maybe we'll cuddle up in it one night, watch some Criminal
There
Minds.
you go. That's my ideal date
We'll find
night.
out your lowest value for getting your chest shit on.
I mean, it's what you can
It's
afford.
not high. It's not high at all.
Sliding
for it.
scale.
Mishka, where can people find you on the interwebs and in this world?
I'm everywhere. Obnoxiously available online. I'm the only Mishka Shubaly out there, so you can read my writing on Amazon. You can order books or digital stories. You can find music on iTunes, Spotify, fucking anywhere music plays. I'm at Mishka Shubaly on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I don't have a Pinterest account, but if that's what you need, man, I will fucking open one.
Message us if you need Mishka to get a Pinterest. Always Matt as, what is it?
At MC Walker on Instagram and Twitter.
There you go. Bilaskowski. Thanks so much, Mishka.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
coming,
guys.
yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah,
This was a good
time.
one. Appreciate you, everybody. We'll see you in the new year.
Later, y'all.